Hey guys, it's StarrySky and welcome to this electric healer skill point guide video. Now in this video I'm going to be literally giving you my recommendations on how to spec your healer, what to prioritize, and then even if you have more skill points, I'll give some advice then as well. So let's get started, and literally first of all what you want to do is after you respec your skill points is simply you want to go to your movement and then put whatever skill points required in to get your movement. I've known some people and they have forgot to do this, they've had to completely respec again, so always make this your first priority. Go to your movement tree, put your skill point in, or skill points, and then go back. So then, after we've done that, what we're looking for in our healer is we want to go resto, crit chance, crit magnitude, and then we want to go back to the resto again. Now, why am I saying resto twice? Let me clarify that. The way my recommendations is, since I added the extra innates at the bottom of the weapon trees, it literally people class them as tier 1 and tier 2. So what we want to do is we want to get the tier 1 resto first, so that will give us a nice amount of resto and a good base, and then we want to get the crit chance, and then we want to get the crit magnitude to make the resto, obviously, you know, the crit heals better. So then the rest of our resto will come from our gear. Now instead of just going and getting all the resto in one go, as I'll show you, for the tier 2 innates you need 6 skill points just to max the innates. Now for those 6 skill points you could have maxed 2 of the critical chances. So it's always best to get the tier 1 resto, so we have some nice base healer, nice base healing resto, and then our gear will make up for the rest. And then we get the crit chance, crit magnitude, and then we get the tier 2 innates for the resto. So let's get started and I'll show you what I mean. So let's go to our weapon trees, and the first one we want to go to is dual pistols. So we're going to put skill points in this, so it's literally going to be down the middle, and this is what I mean by tier 1. Now if I scroll down, you'll literally see what I mean, but there's 2 rows at the bottom of each tree. So when I say tier 1, this is the tier 1 innates. When I say tier 2, these are the tier 2 innates. So what I'm doing first of all is I'm going to be getting the tier 1 resto innates. So of course, first of all, I've gone to dual pistols, gone down the middle, and then put skill points in the tier 1 resto innates. So the next one I want to go to will be dual wield. So down the middle, and then I want to max out the tier 1 resto innates. And then the next one will be martial arts. So I've gone down the middle and then maxed the tier 1 resto innates. And then the final one is going to be in shield. So once again, down the middle, and then we max out the last one of the tier 1 resto innates. Now the tier 1 resto innates will give us plus 15, and the tier 2 ones will give us plus 7. This is why we're prioritizing the tier 1 over the tier 2, and we're going to be getting the tier 2 resto last of all. Because literally for every 1 skill point of this we would need 2 to put into the tier 2 resto ones. So we've prioritized our tier 1 restos, maxed them, and then what we're going to do now is we're going to go into our critical healing chance. So there's 3 of those, and the first one will be in brawling. So we're going to go down the middle, and then we're going to max out the tier 1 critical healing chance. The next one should be in rifle. Yep. So as you can see down the rest of them, I've pretty much just go down the middle, and then we're maxed out the tier 1 critical healing chance. And as I said earlier, there's only 3 of these, so the last one should be in two-handed. So down the middle, and then we max out the tier 1, I should say the last tier 1 critical healing chance. Now after that, we would need to put skill points in our critical healing magnitude. And the first one for that should be in bow. Yep. So down the middle, and then literally max out your tier 1 critical healer magnitude. Now there are 4 of these. So the next one is hand blasters. So down the middle, and then we max out the next tier 1 critical healer magnitude. One-handed should be next. So yet again, down the middle, and then max out the tier 1 critical healer magnitude. And then the final one should be in staff. Yep. So down the middle of the staff tree. And then we want to max out our last critical healer magnitude. So that just leaves us with the tier 2 Restore Innates. And then after that we're going to go back to our movement tree to get our resistances. So let's go and max out our tier 2 ones. So we want to go to bow first of all. And you'll see my by tier 2 ones. As you saw earlier on, the tier 2 ones give us 15, which only require 1 skill point. And the tier 2 ones we only get plus 7 for 1 skill point. And in total you need 6 skill points just to max out these ones. This is why we prioritize our tier 1 resto, and then the tier 1 critical healing chance and critical healer magnitude. So now for those 3, after those 3 have been complete, we come back and we maximize our tier 2 restoration. So let's max out that one. Now in total I think there is 7 of these. I could be wrong. So the first one is in bow, second one is in brawling, now since we've gone down the middle and we've already gone and made the tier 1s a priority, literally when it comes to doing these ones, most of them will be unlocked, so we don't have to worry about going down the middle to maximize the skill trees. They're pretty much going to be unlocked already. So that's the second one. Next one is hand blasters. There we go. Just want to max that one. The fourth one is in the one-handed. Whoops. Yep, down there. The fifth one is in the rifle. The next one should be in staff. Now I did say I think there was 7, so the last one, if I remember correctly, should be in two-handed. Yep, so that makes 7 tier 2 resto innates, which requires 6 skill point per one. So then that will max all the restoration, and that covers all of the healer innates. So if we go back out of that, and if you currently see Legacy has 122 skill points. Now to do just to max all of our healer innates, we needed a total of 119. Now if you required more skill points for your movement trees, then you might need 120. So it's at least 119 we need to maximize all healer innates, just the healer ones. So, but as I said earlier on, right, after we've gone and maximized our healer innates, what we want to do, now this is my recommendation, we want to go back to our movement tree, and then we want to prioritize getting the resistances. Well, I should say really, filling out the rest of our movement tree. Now, since Legacy only has 122, I only have enough skill points to get the resistances. So then, after resistances, you want to get the breakout masteries, because obviously, you know, breakout, get some power back is always good for a healer. So after those, we go back to the movement tree and then we maximize those. That will take up around 125 skill points. And if you're thinking, well, I'm one of these people and I have a lot more skill points, what should I put them in then? My recommendations would be, you would want to go and put them in the tier 1 dominance. Like focus on the tier 1 dominance. If I can find one, yep. Now the reason why this for is obviously it's going to make our shield or self shield that much stronger to be absorb more damage, since shields are based off of your restoration and your dominance. So obviously more dominance is always going to be good for our shielding absorption, and mostly it's because it does actually affect our healing as well. And as you'll see by that, if we go to PowerPoints and iconic, and intimidating gaze increases the potency of certain defensive and healing abilities. So the more dominance we have will make our healing abilities more potent. So after we basically, if you've maxed out all the tier 1 dominance, and you think, oh, should I go get the tier 2 ones? Personally for me, that's completely up to you. But I would recommend trying to maximize all of the tier 1 elites. So like after you've done the tier 1 dominance, maybe start putting some skill points in some more survivability, like getting the HP and then defense. The more HP you have, the more hit you can take, and obviously the defense, the more defense you have, the less damage you will take. So that pretty much covers all the basics to how I think a healer should be speccing their skill points and making the most from it. If you guys have any other ways of doing it, please feel free, or have any questions as usual, please leave them in the comment section or send me a private message. So until next time guys, thanks for watching.
Beware my power. Green Lantern fly!